Raise your hand if you thought Michigan State would be one of the highest scoring and explosive offenses in the Big Ten coming out to 2021. Hands down. What's going on, everybody? Big Ten Ted coming at you today. Here doing a video request from YouTube user Hannah Ford telling me, you should do a video on Michigan State's explosive offense. So thank you for the idea. Let's talk about Michigan State and their offense. Coming into the season, who knew Kenneth Walker, Peyton Thorne, Jalen Naylor, Jaden Reed, and others on that Michigan State offense would be the talk of the town? This is a Michigan State offense. It's the third best offense in the Big Ten. They're putting up 36 a game. Peyton Thorne in both touchdown passes and passing yards, third in the Big Ten right now, only behind C.J. Stroud and Taulia Tagovailoa. And then you talk about Kenneth Walker, right? The gem that has come out of this college football season of the Big Ten Conference, and a guy at running back that is statistically and, in my opinion, talent-wise, the best running back in the Big Ten Conference. There are other backs that are good, but when it comes to sure talent, the ability to break tackles, and as we saw this last weekend against Rutgers, the ability to hit the big play, nobody comes close to Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker. Early in the season, Jaden Reed was their main target at wide receiver. Of course, Jaden's got that relationship with Peyton Thorne, but over the past few weeks, Jalen Naylor has become a guy, especially a deep threat in this offense. And here's kind of why this offense is so dynamic, right? And the passing game is great, no doubt about it. But when you got a guy running the football like Kenneth Walker, and that's a pretty good offensive line as well, but when you have a guy like Kenneth Walker, and you consistently can run the football, and he can make guys miss, and he can make big plays, and it's not very hard to establish the running game, and you have that talent on the outside at receiver, you have just created an extremely balanced offense that can hit big plays. I've been very impressed with Peyton Thorne at quarterback. He hasn't made a ton of mistakes this season. Early in the year, when you talked about Michigan State, they did it against this team and this team, you got to do it against a good team. Well, then they played Miami. They put up a lot of points against Miami. Then a lot of people said, Miami stunk. And now we're in this other period where they're not playing the greatest Big Ten teams in the world, and there's a Halloween weekend matchup upcoming against the Michigan Wolverines. Let me talk about how I want to lead into that game against Michigan. If Michigan State can take care of business like I believe they will in the weeks leading up to that, here's some interesting tidbits. After the Indiana game, Michigan State has a bye prior to Michigan. Michigan has a bye this week before playing Northwestern, and then right into that Michigan State game at home. Michigan State will host Michigan in that October 30th matchup. I'm not going to sit here and predict, as of right now, a couple of weeks out, that Michigan State is going to beat Michigan, but all the ducks are aligning in a row for Michigan State to be able to pull the upset against Michigan. I'm a comparison guy, common opponents, that kind of thing. When I look at how Nebraska played at home, at night, against Michigan, right? You look what Nebraska did in the second half, 29 second half points against that Michigan defense. Right now, I believe Michigan State is a better offense than Nebraska. I think they got a little bit more talent. Now, Nebraska's explosive, right? Adrian and the running game and Toure on the outside. They've got some really good guys at Nebraska. Maybe one of the best 3 and 4 teams that we've ever seen is currently residing in Lincoln. But when you look at Michigan State, I believe they've got a little bit better talent. Peyton Thorne might be a little bit a better passer than Adrian Martinez. Their running game is outstanding with Kenneth Walker, and their threats, got 2 threats on the outside. Michigan squeaked by Nebraska on the road. So now you look at Michigan State at home against Michigan. That's going to be an extremely difficult matchup for the Wolverines. If you compare, Nebraska's offense isn't as good as Michigan State's. Watch out, Wolverines. Things could get scary for them on Halloween weekend. I like Michigan State. Michigan State is the team nobody's talking about nationally. Right? We're talking about, Ohio State's good. Michigan's good. Penn State, although they lost to Iowa, they're still pretty good if they get Sean Clifford back. Everybody's talking about Michigan State like they're a pushover. Like, that's a nice story. Top 10 team. That's nice. But nothing's going to happen. Just you wait. This is a team lying in the weeds under the radar. Nobody's talking about them. Nobody's giving them any respect. It's almost a foregone conclusion that, well, they're going to play these good teams and then they're not going to, and then they're going to lose. And they're going to go to a nice bowl game, but it's not going to be a division championship kind of season. You take out the Nebraska game. They have scored 31 or more points in every single one of their games. Now you take out the Rutgers game in which they scored 31. You got 38, get a quick look over to my notes, 48 and 42 points that they have put up on teams. That is impressive, and I had no idea, I think at the beginning of the season, that we would see this out of the Michigan State Spartans. I want to know what you guys think. Is this Michigan State team, is this Michigan State offense for real? Are they as good as their numbers indicate right now? Or is this team overrated? Are these defenses, these Michigan defenses, these Penn State defenses, are those defenses going to shut them down when they play each other here October and as November progresses to finish off the 2021 season? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you to YouTube user Hannah Ford for suggesting the topic of this video. You want me to talk about a Big Ten topic? Leave that in the comments below as well. I'm Big Ten Ted. Subscribe for Big Ten football content. We'll see you next time.